My name is Jordan, and I'm not your average 23-year-old. I enjoy watching Nick Jr. Why? I just get some good laughs out of the characters messing up, whatnot. So when I heard what was a new show called Paw Patrol coming to Nick Jr., I was ecstatic. I couldn't wait to see another clumsy character like Gil from Bubble Guppies. I watched the pilot episode, Pups and the Kitty Catastrophe, and I was instantly hooked. I mean, sure, talking dogs might have been done before, like Pound Puppies and 101 Dalmatians, but this was different. This show is focused around teaching young children how to work together and help the community, which, in my opinion, is much more valuable than teaching them another language. I'm looking at you, Dora the Explorer. However, my absolute favorite character had to be Marshall. He was a Dalmatian, which already give him points in my mind, but he was also clumsy. Not like really clumsy, just in a comical sense. Plus, he was also brave, just like me. But enough about that. The reason I'm here today is to tell you that a lot of people have been talking about this last episode of the Paw Patrol, supposedly set to air after Pups Make Splash / Pups Fall Festival. However, it wasn't aired, and there is no explanation given as to why. Spin Master simply said it didn't really fit the atmosphere of the show. I thought this was bullshit. They were all set to air a new episode, and then they cancel it at the last second. Who does that? I decided to ask and see if anyone had knowledge of this lost episode. Unsurprisingly, I got nowhere. I I either gotta know what are you talking about? There's no lost episode of Paw Patrol, or or it looks like I just killed somebody, which makes no sense whatsoever. But there was one man. I'm assuming in the mid-30s. I knew what I was talking about. He told me he used to work for Nickelodeon Studios back in the good old days, when cartoons like SpongeBob were just starting. He said he worked there as recently as a month ago, but then he quit. When I asked him why he quit, he said the following. They were brainstorming new ideas for the show, Paw Patrol, when someone asked if we could have one of the pups die during a rescue attempt. I got up and shouted, "Are you insane? This is a kid show. We can't depict death. Do you know how many viewers we would lose for that? That's not fucking happening." And I slammed the door. That's the last day I clocked in. Then I decided to jump straight to the point. I asked him if he had a copy of the quote-unquote lost episode. To my utmost surprise, he said, "I think I actually do. It's the last copy in existence, at least the last one I know of. You can have it, no charge." I was dumbfounded by those words. He he was giving me what was the last copy of the Lost Paw Patrol episode for free. He even told me it's never been watched before. I couldn't help but smile and say, "Thanks, man. You received it." I received a "You're welcome, anytime" in response. If I only knew then what I know, the horror was in that disc. I got home at around 4 p.m. I played a few minutes of Halo, one of my favorite games. Then I decided to watch the last episode of Paw Patrol. I popped it in, and to my surprise, a DVD-like screen menu came up. The options were play, scene select, extras, options, and the last one, which I found kind of funny, wuss out. Maybe it was a joke for hardcore fans of Paw Patrol. I decided to play it safe and pick up the options menu. In it, there were settings for subtitles, voice volume, music volume, and language. Nothing out of the ordinary there. Then I went to check extras. A big red "no" just popped up on the screen. Then I selected "no," I said to myself. But I figured I had to watch the episode first. I wish I had wussed out. The normal Paw Patrol opening played, as it should. No distorted music, no jump scares, none of that crap. It wasn't over until the end. And by strange, it wasn't over. It wasn't until the end that it was strange. And by strange, I meant it was missing the bark at the end when the logo shines over. But I figured that was to be expected, since this was an unfinished episode, and I braced myself for the title card. There barely was one. I mean, it was just plain white background with 4 words etched into it in black. The title of the last episode, Pups Yelp for Help. I immediately thought, I hope this isn't a fucking Rickroll or something like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have nothing against Rick Ashley, but I heard his most famous song, Never Gonna Give You Up, about 1,000,000 times. Thankfully, it was actual people. It was an actual episode. It started out just like Pups Make Splash, Rubble riding on his skateboard on his way to Katie's vet clinic. He looked perfectly normal, too. I was starting thinking, sorry about that, skateboard on his way to Katie's vet clinic. He looked perfectly normal, too. I started thinking this is just a big practical joke the guy played on me, but kept watching. However, instead of the vet, Rubble skated up to the lookout. I mean, it was so well edited, it could have looked like an actual episode, where he was really skating up to the lookout. That, however, is when things began to get weird. Zuma was waiting outside with Rocky and Ryder, and Rocky and Ryder were nowhere in sight. When Rubble skated up to the entrance, Zuma said, "Wubble, thank goodness you're back. Why'd I was worried about you." Rubble replied with, "Ryder was worried about me. Why?" Then Rocky chimed in, and what he said sent up red flags in my head. "Something happened inside. I think it's another mission. I'll feel so good about this one." Don't ask why, but after he said that, I began sweating profusely. Did something happen to Ryder or one of the other pups? My fears were put to rest when the normal elevator sequence began. However, it was just those three. I was confused until it reached the top, when Chase, Marshall, and Sky were already in position. However, Chase did not say his usual, "Ready for action, Ryder, sir" line. Instead, it went something like, "Paw Patrol's ready for action." This unnerved me, as I really liked Ryder, and he was nowhere to be seen. Marshall said what I was thinking a short time later. "Where's Ryder?" He got replies from the other pups in order. "I don't know, but this isn't normal," Chase said. "You're telling me," Sky said. "This is kind of creepy, isn't it?" Rocky said. "You said it, dude," Zuma said. Then, without warning, Ryder appeared on the giant screen. All of the pups let out a small scream of surprise. I couldn't tell where he was going. Too well animated to be CGI. Then he said, "Sorry about that, pups. I didn't mean to scare you." He was met with, "Ryder, where are you? Why aren't you here?" from Rocky. What he said made my blood turn to ice. It was so unexpected. I will never, ever forget the next words Ryder said. "Well, I was on my way back to the lookout, but my ATV broke down. I tried calling for help, but nobody could hear me. Then I sort of fell through a portal, and now I'm in the real world." All 6 pups' jaws dropped as I yelled out the immortal words, "What the fuck?"